Do you get pain in the front part of the shoulder when doing bench press or any other kind of pressing variation? In this video, we're going to talk about why that happens and what to do about it. Hi, I'm Alex Effer, founder of Resilient Training and Rehab, and I've helped thousands of coaches and clinicians get faster and more consistent results with their clients. Let's get into it. So before we talk about a couple exercises in order to improve it, let's talk about why it happens. Now, there's a very popular assessment measurement called the Hawkins-Kennedy test. And what that does is taking a look at your ability to internally rotate the shoulder and adduct, which is just bringing your arm across the midline. The reason why that's so important and relevant to pressing movements is because when we're pressing, especially in those mid ranges of shoulder flexion, that's going to represent our ability to internally rotate the shoulder. We need that internal rotation in order to create those pressing motions. If we don't, that's when we start to compensate by rolling the shoulder forward, hiking the shoulder up, or even rotating away from that side. And when that happens, that puts excessive stress on the front part of the shoulder because it affects the relationship between the arm bone and the shoulder joint itself. Of course, we have to appreciate that the rib cage shape is also going to be important, where we need to have this anterior part of the chest open. So we need the shoulder and the chest bone to be moving away from each other. As they start to move towards each other, we start to lose the ability to internally rotate the shoulder. And so that creates, again, excessive stress on the front part of that shoulder. So what we need to be doing is thinking about three different things. One, can we start to create space in the front part of the shoulder? Two, do we have the ability to bring our arm across our body? And then three, are we able to do so while keeping the rib cage locked down? Because if that rib cage pops up, we are then faking that internal rotation and putting more pressure on the shoulder. So we're going to talk about a couple exercises that are going to accomplish all three of those aspects. So the first thing we're going to do is put the rib cage in a better position. A lot of times when these people have limited internal rotation, they flare their ribs, and what happens is they actually get wider side to side. So if we think about this so if we look at the rib cage from a top-down perspective, if this is the front part of the rib cage and my thumbs are the back part, we're going to have more of this tension happening. And so if we have that, we're now going to limit the space to be able to open up the front part of the chest. So what we need to do is, instead of creating more of this oval shape, we're going to create more of this triangular shape where the front part of the rib cage opens. In order to do that, we need to close the side part of the rib cage. Think about muscles like our serratus anterior that are going to help laterally squeeze the rib cage to create that space. So we're going to take a foam roller and we're going to put it underneath our armpit. By getting underneath the armpit, we're going to start to influence more of that shoulder position. We're going to have our arm lined up with the foam roller, and you're going to have your legs crossed. Now, the reason why I'm having the legs crossed is because it's going to put my hips and rib cage in more of a stacked position, because I don't want my pelvis to roll forward and I don't want to excessively roll my rib cage. This is going to keep me grounded in terms of how far I'm able to rotate. So I'm going to go in this position. I'm going to inhale as I roll forward. Again, I'm not letting this knee cave in. Roll forward. So now I'm kind of on the front part of my rib cage. I'm going to exhale as I roll back. Again, if that leg starts to deviate out, I've gone too far. But I should feel tenderness on the back part of my shoulder. I'm going to breathe in as I roll forward. Breathe out. Roll back. And as you start to do it, you can feel that it's going to start to loosen up. To make this even better, take this hand and internally rotate it and try to push the inside part of the wrist on the ground. Because now we're going to get that internal rotation of the shoulder as we're starting to manipulate the rib cage position. One of my favorite exercises in order to reinforce that space between the sternum and the shoulder is the chest fly. Now, we could do this a very specific way in order to really reinforce that opening of the shoulder, because when we're opening it, we need to consider two different things. The first thing is we need a rib cage that's turning away from that side. So as you can see, if I'm turning the rib cage towards that side, the space gets a little bit closed. As I turn away, it starts to open. So I can create that by having my right foot forward as I'm doing this cable fly, because this is going to turn me into that back leg. The second thing I want to be able to do is make sure that I'm actually able to create that internal rotation at the shoulder joint itself. Now, keeping the elbow slightly bent, not bending it excessively or not straightening it, allows for that motion to happen at the shoulder. And because I'm staying within 90 degrees of shoulder flexion, that's going to again reinforce that motion. Because in and around the 90 degrees, which is the sticking point at the legs, this is going to be very similar in the upper body where we're getting that internal rotation at the shoulder at the 90 degrees. The third exercise to really reinforce everything is going to be a tricep exercise variation. And so what we're going to do with this is we're going to put the cable at a high position. We're then going to take a step out with the outside leg. So in this case, I'm trying to reinforce that right shoulder internal rotation. So I'm going to have this right foot back towards the side. I'm then going to bring the elbow in line with that big toe. And I'm going to reach it down towards the ground. I'm then going to take my palm and I'm going to turn it down as best as I can without letting it twist. This is going to cause internal rotation all the way up the chain. And then keeping the elbow where it is, I'm going to breathe out, pull the cable down towards that big toe. Really trying to reinforce that internal rotation. What you'll feel is there's going to be a certain point where that hand wants to turn out, so you can just stop right there. You're really going to have to reinforce this twist in order to get that motion effectively, because this is going to turn my chest away from this side and it's going to get the internal rotation at the shoulder. Pinching the shoulder during shoulder pressing is one of the most common injuries that I see at the shoulder with my clients. And in this video, we talked a little bit about what to do about it and some of the concepts related to why that happens. If you want to dive deeper into understanding more compensations like this, what to do about it, how to assess it, and check out my Evolve Biomechanics mentorship. We've had over 1,000 coaches and clinicians go through it who are already getting amazing results with their clients and changing their business because of it. Thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to like, save, subscribe. I'll see you next time.